Chrissy's Catch. My name's Chrissy and I'm the host. Today we're going to be talking about something that's super duper near and dear to my heart. This is Grizzly football. Montana Grizzly football. FCS football has been something that I've grown up on. I started going to my first Grizzly games back, I can't even remember when I first started going to my first Grizzly games, and I feel like for a good long stretch, I never missed a game. I've grown up on Montana Grizzly football. My family are huge Grizzly fans, not just in football. We go to volleyball games, basketball games, men and women. We go to as much as we can. My family's super big supporters of the University of Montana. My dad is a graduate from there. And so it was a little bit heartbreaking that I didn't choose to go to school there, I think, to my dad. I think he always dreamt if one of us, my sister or I, were going to go to the University of Montana, it was going to be me, because I do want to be a journalist, and that's what their big specialty is there. However, it does lie right back in my backyard, and so I wanted to branch out a little bit. And so that's why I picked Gonzaga. But anyway, yes, super big Montana Grizzly football fans. Oh my gosh, I can't even start on how much I love the Grizzlies, how much I enjoy watching them play football. I've seen them through everything. I've been there when it's been 90 degrees out and it is so hot. I've also was at the Appalachian State game. That's very historic for the Grizzlies, where they literally had to shovel the fields at every timeout in order to keep playing. And we won that game. It was awesome. I just can't even describe the feelings that were felt during that game. I've seen them in the national championship, but I've also seen them not make the playoffs. It's just been all over the spectrum for the last 18 years of my life, and I've just grown up on it, and I wouldn't have trade it for anything else. So I'm going to talk about Griz football today, but I'm going to focus on Grizzlies in the NFL. As the season approaches, I'm going to make another video for you guys about my thoughts about this upcoming season, because I'm really excited for it. We have fresh new faces coming into the program. We have returners like Jerry Louie McGee, who had to sit out a lot of last season and is going to make some waves this season. So I'm really excited, but that's for a different time. Today we're going to talk about the Grizzlies in the NFL. Because we just had the NFL draft a few weeks ago, it's been really exciting to reminisce on which Grizz are there still. We do have a long list of Grizzlies in the NFL throughout history, but I'm going to touch on some ones that are there right now. The first Grizz in the NFL that I should mention is Trumaine Johnson. He is a stud. He plays for the Los Angeles Rams at the safety position. He is currently their franchise player, and he is one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL. He has made a name for himself coming from an FCS school. He was the second highest selection in the NFL draft to come from Montana. The first, of course, is Scott Gregg. But like I said, Trumaine Johnson went in the third round to the Rams. He's been with the Rams ever since. He has been he's been an extremely important part of the Rams organization. He moved with the Rams from St. Louis to Los Angeles, and he's never faltered. He's made a name for himself there. He's made a name for himself in the NFL. At one point, he was leading the NFL in interceptions, so he has made a great name for himself coming from Montana to being the franchise player of his team. That is something that doesn't happen every day, and so it's so awesome. I remember watching him play at Montana. He had some hard hits. He was definitely gave it his all. Every second, and you could see that he loved his team. He loves his team now. He's always been a team player. He's always been all about his family, and so it's been super cool to see him go from college to the professional level at such an exciting rate, at such a successful rate. The next Griz in the NFL that I should mention is Brock Coyle. Brock Coyle is a Montana born and raised man. He comes to us from Bozeman, Montana, Bozeman High School. He didn't go to those stinky Bobcats. He came to the Grizzlies and was such a huge part of the Grizzlies when he played for them. He has been over in Seattle, our closest NFL team, for a while, and recently he had been traded to the 49ers. He plays at the linebacker position at Seattle. He was part of so many great moments for that team, and I believe that he's going to do the same for the 49ers. It's super cool to watch a Montana boy go into the NFL and make a name for himself. I wish you the best of luck at the 49ers, Brock. I know you're going to make waves there. We will miss you in our backyard over in Seattle, but San Francisco's really lucky to have you. The next Griz who is making waves and a name for himself in the NFL is Dan Carpenter. He's been there for a while. He's been on a couple different teams, the Dolphins, but he's currently on the Bills. He's the kicker for the Bills. He has made some super important decisions all across his NFL career that's led his team to winning. He also did the same for us back in Montana. There's few games that I remember where it came down to a field goal and he made it, and so it's been awesome to see him do what he did in college at the professional level. It's so exciting to see any player make the big plays in college and make them at the professional level, but it's even more exciting when it comes from a school that's near and dear to your heart like the University of Montana is to me. The fourth Griz in the NFL that I'm going to talk about today is Mr. Kroy Bierman. Kroy Bierman comes from Hardin, Montana, like Brock Coyle, Montana boy, born and raised, went up to the NFL. He was drafted into the Falcons and he stayed there from 2008 to 2015. He did make a name for himself there. He was a very important player. He spent a good chunk of his time there, and so his time in the NFL, at the Falcons. But he also is known for his reality TV side of his life. He's married to Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kim Zolciak. I never can say her name right, but you can see who she is. It was really cool because Kroy met her at a function, the Dancing with the Atlanta Stars or something like that, and they both are Atlanta stars. So they met, they married, they have a few kids. Kroy adopted two of Kim's daughters from previous relationships, and they're just a really happy and striving family. That's really exciting to see a boy from Montana, from Hardin, Montana, go up through the ranks, move up through college football, the NFL, and have that whole other side to his life on the reality TV side. He's a really cool guy. I really think he's awesome, and what he does for his community is really great. And I think that Kim as well does really awesome things for her community. But it's also cool to see a boy from Montana on your HBO special. You don't get to see that every day, so that's really cool too. So with Griz in the NFL currently, of course, there are Griz from this year's draft class that are heading to the NFL trying to make a name for themselves like those greats that I've already named have. The first one I'm going to mention is Mr. Brady Guptinson. He went to the Chicago Bears. He was our quarterback for the past few years at Montana. I was super cool because, like I said, I like to watch these players become who they are from where they come from, like from the university to the NFL level. But I actually got to watch Brady play at the East-West Shrine game. My sister and him are the same age, so my sister was a cheerleader at the East-West Shrine game 2015, I believe, and in Great Falls, Montana, and so he was the quarterback of the East team. My sister cheered for the West, and so we got to watch him, and it was cool to sit at the banquet dinner that night. And I think my dad and I looked at all these names and we're like, he's going to the Griz, he's going to the Cats, he's going to Carroll, he's going to Tech. And it was really cool because a lot of them were ending up at the Griz, and so definitely cool to watch this guy come from high school, move up through the ranks, and now he's on his way to making a name for himself at the NFL level. The next Griz on his way to making a name for himself in the NFL is Mr. J.R. Nelson. Mr. J.R. Nelson was a free agent, went to the Chiefs, and I believe at wide receiver, he's going to make waves. He has the speed, he has the strategy that it takes to be a good wide receiver, and so I think the Kansas City Chiefs really lucked out when they got J.R. Nelson. The last Griz heading to the NFL that I'm going to talk about today is Mr. Caleb Kidder. Mr. Caleb Kidder was going to the Minnesota Vikings. Like Seattle, Minnesota is really close to Montana, and so we do tend to cheer more for those teams. And it's really cool to see a Montana boy, Montana born and raised, went to the University of Montana, head off to the NFL, and make a name for himself at the Vikings. I say that like it's not like a rare thing, but coming from a state that doesn't get as much recognition, doesn't have any NBA, MLB, NFL teams, it's hard to make a name for yourself. We have AA schools compared to like Texas, Washington, California's like 5A schools. So to watch these guys come from like Class C football and go to the NFL, making the big bucks, making a name for themselves. That's so cool because Montana is small, not the state, but like the population is small, and so to watch people move and advance up the ranks is so cool, especially when they come from Montana. So this last name that I'm going to mention doesn't come from Montana, but played against Montana, and I don't think I could talk about this year's NFL draft class without mentioning his name. This is Cooper Kupp. He's a wide receiver from the Eastern Washington Eagles. They are also in the Big Sky Conference. There are frenemy, I guess you could call them. It's cool because you always cheer for them because they do have one of the best teams in FCS football, and they have for the past few years. So you always cheer for them except for when they're playing the Grizzlies. So it's been cool to watch Cooper Kupp work his magic. I did have the opportunity to watch Cooper Kupp play at the college level one time, and that was 2 years ago in Washington Grizzly Stadium. We did end up winning that game. We shut down Cooper Kupp. And I think if he gets shut down, he is beatable. But if you don't have that strategy, then he's hard to beat. He's not super quick, but he has the brain power, the strategy to be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I believe with good coaching, with good teammates, he's gonna do great things. He is going to my favorite football team, the NFL team, the Los Angeles Rams. So that's cool because I have followed him through college. I get to follow him at the NFL level. Even if he didn't go to the Rams, I think I'd still follow him because he is like a local boy. Even though he's not from Montana, he's just across the mountains, and it's cool to watch success stories come from the FCS. That being said, he is the success story from the FCS. He's broken numerous FCS records and Eastern Washington records at his time during his time, at Eastern Washington. So it's going to be cool to see what he can do at the NFL level. Like I said, not a lot of speed, but a lot of strategy. He knows the routes to run. He knows what's smart, what's not smart. And I believe that he's going to be a Pro Bowler one day. I think it's hard to argue against him in that sense. He is just so smart on the field. And so I think it's not going to be hard for him to make a name for himself. He was the 69th pick overall, high up there in the ranks, and that is such a significant symbol for him, I guess, because coming from a small school, being overlooked by D1 schools because he was too slow. He went to Eastern Washington, made a name for himself there, made a name for himself nationally there, and now he's going to make an even bigger name for himself with the National Football League at the professional level, and it doesn't get much better than that. So best of luck to you, Mr. Kupp. I know that you're going to do great things for our Rams because, you know, that's my favorite team. But I'm really excited to see what you do, and I'm really excited to see what all these players do and continue to do. Mr. Bierman, Croy Bierman, is not in the NFL any longer. He is a free agent. I think that all these players, just looking down at my names here, they all are great players, they all love their team, they all love what they do, and football is their life. And so it's so exciting to watch them get out there on Sunday, on Monday, and see them work their magic. And I'm just so excited for what's to come for these players who are coming up into the NFL and get to start making that name for themselves there. So with the NFL season quickly approaching, I know it seems like it just got over, I'm going to be covering that on my channel. So like, subscribe, and I will keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later.